Hello lovelies, today as you can see we're looking at Crossbows and Catapults, and it's a bit big for my desk even though I did find the oomph to clear the desk. I have coveted this game since I was a kid, so you know, welcome to my midlife crisis, in which I buy up things I wanted as a child and was never allowed to get. But yeah, as soon as I saw that a new version of Crossbows and Catapults was being produced and kickstarted, I was all over it. So here it is finally, and I kind of went all in. So there's some other bits to show you as well. This isn't really a review. I mean, how much of a review can you have about a game where you build fortresses and then use miniature siege weapons to knock them down and beat the other guy? I don't think there's that much that can be reviewed about that. As I say, I coveted the original but never got it. The one time I had the money and the opportunity to get it, the store was closed, and so I had to leave, unfortunately. So I never got to get it, and it never seemed to turn up in like charity shops or second-hand stores or anything. So it was wonderful to get the opportunity. But I think everyone gets the premise, kind of, right? You have two sides, or more, I suppose. You build little castles out of blocks, and you have siege weapons, and then you try to knock down the enemy characters and demolish the fort. It's a lot of fun, and I wanted it so much that I built my own version using wooden building blocks. And I would create a catapult by having a little square block, a long thin block, and then I would balance another block on the end of that like a seesaw and go whap and hurl it into the bricks. So yeah, I am excited and happy and curious to see what's in here, even though in all likelihood I will never get to play it properly, because you know it's childish and people don't want to be seen doing childish things. So here are the blocks. The bags have seen a bit of wear and tear from the corners, but they are big resealable ones, so you don't need to tear them to pieces to get the stuff out. The blocks themselves are sub-Lego in toughness and slot together fairly loosely, it would seem, but that makes sense because you want them to be able to fly apart, right? Don't you? So yeah, that makes perfect sense, and they're tough if light, so yeah, they'll resist being banged around a lot, which is good. But yeah, they go together fairly loosely, which is what you want for a game like this. When I was playing my own version with wooden building blocks, it proved quite durable, so it'd be very, very long games. We have our little banner stands here. The other set of blocks in a different colour. Let's put those aside for the moment. Alright, and you have siege weapons which you're going to have to put together from the looks of it. And you've got your different coloured discs that you fire. Hope there's spares, because those are going to go missing quickly. We have cards in this version, so slightly more complex rules. I don't remember those being in the original, but then I didn't own it and I only got to play it a couple of times, so I don't know. Applied teeth to plastic. See, if I was a professional unboxer, I'd have like a box knife or something, I suppose. Just gotta get a fingernail under there. frustrated opening pawn. That's what we do here now, apparently. Alright, so there's that open. So these seem to be characters with special abilities that you can apply. So that's interesting and mixes things up a bit more and maybe creates a bit more of a sense of tactical play. Oh, and there's blank ones for making your own. That's nice. And treasure cards. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Big lump of cardboard taking up space. With a pair of doors, presumably, to the castles. And we have some sort of coloured pieces. I'm guessing those go on the tops of your castles and further help mark them out. It's belonging to one side or the other, yeah, because one's grey and one's white. We've got some decals to put onto things, should you so desire. And we have proper catapults. Oh, do these still work by squeezing then? I wonder. Because you got to have your crossbow and your catapult. Obviously, it's in the name, right? Following the D&D naming scheme. What have we got in here? More very sticky tape on cheap cardboard. Oh, it's gonna tear anyway, isn't it? Okay, that appears to be extra characters, so heroes, I'm guessing, or chiefs or something. And then we get some goblins and dwarves, which for injection mold plastic are actually fairly detailed and alright, actually. Let's have a see if I can get that closer and in focus. Not really. But they're alright. For injection molded plastic, they're pretty good. I don't think you'd want to bother painting them up though, because they're going to get shit bunged at them. We have a slender rulebook, obviously, because what you're doing is shooting stuff at each other. We have more decals to spice up your bricks a little bit, so hopefully they stand up to the wear and tear. And I have a bunch of cardboard standee bits. Terrain provided for fun is not part of the official game. Use it to decorate your play area or for some target practice. So these are cardboard things that slot together, but you could always make up your own rules for including them, for providing cover and so on. Alright, and then we have, let me get this out of the way. And the siege engines. So here's the booklet you get with it. So now you know all the pieces that you're supposed to have. You've got your tactics cards, you've got your building blocks, crossbows, catapults. Okay, so the ammunition is special ammunition and red ammunition, which presumably is normal stuff. Goblin figures, flags, dwarf figures, flags, dwarf shields, goblin shields, a whole bunch of stuff there. So you have dwarves and dwarf mercenaries, goblins and goblin mercenaries. So, interesting. How you're supposed to set up the battle. Makes me think they should have included a battle mat of the right size, or maybe they'll sell that as a as an option later on. Perhaps it would be quite nice to have a battle mat. Okay, so you start with the gatehouse, you build your castle around it. The shields slot in to the castle between 4 bricks, and it must all be one continuous structure, but otherwise you're free to build it your own way, but not past your back line. Interesting, cool. You place your warriors around. You get 2 tactics cards, so that alters things as you go along. And place your extras to the side. Play a tactics card, take 2 actions. You can move and fire in either order. Moving moves a figure from one area to another. Pick up one of your figures and place them anywhere on your side of the play area. So I guess you can move around to avoid being wiped out too easily. Ah yeah, and you squeeze the crossbows. And the catapult, you can switch the angle of attack, so that's cool. Yeah, and there's a new rule where you can have the treasure, and if you manage to land one of your flippy things on the treasure, you immediately win. So I don't remember there being tactics cards in the original, so that's interesting and new, and a slightly more grown-up option, I suppose, while playing. And that lets you win outright. It's the golden snitch, or whatever you want to call it. All right, so it came with some bags for the bits, so you can keep your bits in your bags. I won't open that yet, though it does look like it's resealable, but they look nice enough, nice and bright, like those cheap Chinese t-shirts you get with the all over print. That's what the material looks like, kind of slightly plasticky jersey. So we got some extras. So we got weapons cache with more sticky tape. Yeah, I was all in on this because I have coveted it for such a long fucking time. Probably shouldn't swear on a video that might attract kids, but there you go. Gotta learn sometime. For anything like me, they're already swearing a blue streak at school. So we got some more decals, a much more poncy and arguably effective crossbow. So that's nice. We've got some more red thingies, and we appear to have a much larger catapult, or trebuchet I guess in this case. Yeah, this is much bigger than the other one. It has a dangly counterweight and everything. So how's this supposed to work? Okay, so you turn the screw to adjust the angle, and then isn't that cool? I wonder where's the rubber band, because you know they're going to need replacing at some point. Okay, so that's cool. And that's the second set of extra weapons, so both sides are even. Oops. And then there were 2 boxes of Builder's Bounty as well, which are additional blocks for each side, so you can build bigger castles, or potentially you can find some other figures of the same size and make your own cards and so on. I guess you could turn it into a 3 or 4 player game. This should just be more of the same. The tape tour. The tape tour twice, 3 times. Caution, irritating. There we go. Yes, that's just yet more blocks to make even bigger castles. Alright, so that's about it. It certainly appears to have fulfilled the joy and promise of my misspent youth. I look forward to setting it up and just playing it myself, knocking down castles for a little bit like a child, and maybe I can con someone into playing it with me. That would be very nice. Yeah, I'm really happy to finally have it, even if I'm pushing 50 at this point. It's something I always wanted and could never have, and now it's something I can have and have a lot of fun with, I think, on the rare occasions that I might get to play with it. As an updated game, I think it has advanced the game forward with the tactics and the quality of the figures and the quality of the bricks and the quality of the weapons and everything else. Yeah, and it's got seems to have a little bit more tactical depth than I remember with the cards and the placement and movement of the figures and everything. So it's a little bit more than I just set them up and knock them down. They should probably do a tie-in with Angry Birds, don't you think? Alright, thanks for listening. Yeah, I don't think can be a review of this, really. It's a bit too simplistic to really talk about in that way. But just for sheer nostalgia value and modernising and upping the quality of the game, yeah, I'd give it 4.5 out of 5, I reckon. I just want a little bit more depth in the base building itself. Zang!
Daikaiju Dai is a game about beating up monsters in giant mecha. The players take the part of mecha pilots and their support crew, using the fate system to allow the one to influence the other. They will fight giant monsters and walk in their shadow. They will establish rivalries and defeat villains. They will uncover conspiracies and lead the fight back against what seems to be a world itself in rebellion against humanity. Mostly, though, they'll smash giant monsters to pieces in epic, destructive fights. Available from post-mort.com, lulu.com and drive-thru RPG.